action.
Rolling.
Rolling.
There's nothing actually rolling.
There's nothing rolling. Yeah. Except your fucking eyes.
Yeah, right. Right. Click, click, click.
What's good, you creeps?
As you can tell, unscripted. Unscripted podcast. Fucking 85% of your stuff is about murder.
About murder. That's fair. Because our listeners love fucking murder. Hit them up with the Gmail.
You can send us an email with your suggestions, comments, or concerns at basedontrueeventspodcast@gmail.com.
Boom. We rolling.
Jeez.
Well, that's good, man.
At least once every episode, I'm going to look at the camera with a weird face just to like fuck with you.
Yeah, like
it's not really there to like fuck with our listeners or anybody that would watch on YouTube. It's just really more to when you're editing and having to go through it. I'm just going to look at the camera and be like, this motherfucker.
I won't edit it though, and then people are going to be like, man, Shep just kept staring at the camera like all weird and awkward and shit.
Yeah, that's me.
Thanks. What's good, man? Y'all have fun at the lake?
Yeah, it was
hot, right?
It was hot. I helped build a natural dam.
Oh god, dude, you're always building shit in the heat.
In the heat, man. There are no projects in the spring or fall. They are only in the summer.
That's funny.
Now, so they live on a hill because it's at a lake, and the way that the hill works is they're dry. The water, when it downpours, rains at all, comes like right through their yard. So we were building like a natural barrier to kind of divert the water as best as possible into the actual places that it should go. But this meant that we were out shoveling, building.
Would it be safe to say you were busy beavers?
Yes.
You're building a dam.
Yes.
You're welcome.
There was no wood.
I'm here all night, folks. That's true.
Yeah. So I'm always happy to help them when I can. So
yeah, right on.
I don't think that there's a lot of times I don't think they give a shit about my help. They're like, you're actually slowing the process down more than you're helping.
They're like, oh, he's trying.
Yeah.
What a team player.
Yeah. They give me a board and a screwdriver, and they're like, just keep putting screws in this board. It's like actually nothing. It's not going anything. It's just to keep the special kid occupied while things are going on.
Like, this isn't even a real hammer. I thought it was light.
Yeah, like
just plastic fucking.
It's my life.
They give you a mallet, a rubber mallet.
I'm proud. I'm proud of what I do.
It is what it is.
But now, I mean, I do get to learn when I'm around the father-in-law. He is a jack of all trades.
Yeah, I know, man. Like, I enjoy doing shit around the house. We've talked about it before, so I won't bore people. But, like, I do love it when I successfully accomplish something with tools that I haven't done before. And I'm like, all right.
Change the light bulb.
Fucking right.
3 wrenches.
3 of them. No, I built a computer desk.
Ooh. Was it IKEA?
No. Like, I've had some wood down in the basement, and I literally, like
legit built one.
I put a couple legs on a piece of fucking wood. But it stands still. And it holds a computer. Yeah. So, success.
I
like.
Yeah, I like how you.
Damn it, you started with the Borat.
Yeah, I did that off the air just to see how many times
I know, it's so addicting.
Into the episode.
It's bad.
Being a shithead.
So, just to change complete directions, the meme that I sent you is like probably my favorite meme to date of this year. The local Texan pledges to make hundreds of masks.
Yeah, that was very,
and
that
it's
was very good.
Leatherface.
That was a very good one. I guffawed a bit at that. I laughed at just a little bit.
Guffawed?
Yeah, it's another way. I guffawed. Like, it's like an old-timey word for I laughed out loud, essentially. It's the 1800s version of LOL.
Of LOL?
Yeah.
I guffawed?
I guffawed at that.
Okay. I guffawed. I'll try to use it, and it's going to be totally fucking wrong.
Yeah. You're going to be like, I went to this funeral. I guffawed. No, dude. No.
That's not right.
Walk away.
Depends on the funeral,
I guess.
So the most important news story I mean, you broke down aliens are real, other dimensions, obviously COVID and everything that's going on. But the most important news story of 2020 is this: Disney are remaking Home Alone.
Yeah, no,
Dude.
yeah. With Macaulay
they want
Culkin.
to use Macaulay Culkin,
And they don't. Yeah, they want him to play his
9-year-old
self,
and he's 38.
and no one pointed out. I think that would be fucking amazing,
dude.
It would be. I would go to the theater 3 times.
100%.
Even with all the shit, I'd go in full hazmat suit, but I would go to the theater.
Imagine it wouldn't even be like a cult following because everyone would go see it immediately. But then, of course, it would.
I think there'd be a shit ton of younger people that would be like, "Why is this happening?"
Who's this old dude? Of course, he's not 9.
Yeah,
like, you fucking idiots.
Like, why is this so popular? And be like, no, this is amazing. This was a brilliant choice, everyone.
Dude, I'm telling you, he's got that podcast, Bunny something or whatever, and I've listened to it. He's a weird dude.
Yeah,
he's definitely weird. But
well, dude, he's gone down some really dark alleys, I think.
Right.
Life wise, like, I mean,
I think it started with his parents too.
Well, a lot of it I think was fairly widely publicized.
Yeah, right.
But he's had major issues with drug abuse. And rebounded to some degree, and
he's still cool as shit in my book, man. I think he's funny as hell.
Some people are lucky when they come back from. I feel like anybody who can kind of like survive serious addiction issues, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
No matter who you are.
Yeah.
But some people come back a little changed,
a little off.
Yeah, and then some people just there's really no semblance of the old person when they come back, and it's you're doing fucking major damage to the body and the mind. So
yeah, it's true.
It's kind of understandable, but I always take the people who've done that, like we came back from this and this, and you're like, yeah, man, you got your stripes, man. I'll fucking listen. I'll listen to what you got to say.
Yeah, you're a little edgy and a little weird, and that's to be expected.
To be expected.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah. Welcome back,
dude. That just. I had to mention that because I saw that and I was like, please do that.
Yeah.
Even if they're not going to really do it. Maybe you did, but I saw it again. But you might have.
I'm pretty sure I send you everything.
Yeah, I know.
Everything in your life has been written by me.
You send me so many at a time that I have to just go hilarious, dumb, holy shit, and that's a good episode. I just in order respond.
There's occasionally I'll be on a spree of sending you things, and then I'll get a response from you where you're like, I will respond to these in a couple days or in 12 hours.
Give me time to catch up. It's usually I'm at work or I'm asleep or in bed or.
And since I sleep 4 hours a day, dude, it's
yeah, I see something sent and I'm like, that motherfucker's up past 1 and I know you're waking up early. And I don't know how early your kid wakes up now.
Since pandemic, it's 7:30 is my new wake up time. Well, so I don't have to beat traffic anymore.
Right.
So, I mean, I was getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. What time does your little man wake up?
7:30, 8 o'clock, depending on the day.
Yeah, dude,
and he goes to bed at 8.
So our kid is.
Yeah, no, your kid greeted me with a cup of espresso when I walked in the door.
Hey,
fucking legit.
Hey, cheers.
Hey, 2-year-old, some espresso.
No, but he's sleeping in his own room now and shit. And it's oh man, we're sleeping
5
good,
months, dude.
We're sleeping good as fuck, dude.
5 months.
Oh wow, trust me, I know. We had some catching up to do, but I haven't ever experienced that.
Yeah, it's big
for 2 years, and
big.
It's oh my god.
Yeah,
he's got a queen size bed, but I mean, whatever. It was our guest bed, and we're like, well, in case he doesn't work, we're not going to buy his own bed. Fuck it, we'll put this one in there.
Yeah, well, see,
it works.
Our kid's still in a crib.
Yeah,
we're getting ready to take the prison scaffolding off of it,
one side of it
at some point. But our kid, man, he takes after his mom. He's he disco dances in the bed.
Yeah,
so he's all over it. So he uses every square inch of the bed every night. So
you're dropping it down the floor. So if he rolls out.
Yeah, but I mean, my kid's the kind of kid that he would get up in the middle of the night and just start walking around and shit.
Oh,
hey, what's up?
Well, when we first tried to put him in the crib, there definitely was that doggy fence or gate, the old wooden ones that are always a pain in the balls to close. we shut that in the hallway and then his other door, so he was trapped.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't. He would wake up and he would be scared in his crib, even with the side off. He wouldn't move.
Yeah.
But for some reason, with his bed, he's cool, except for the fucking baby camera,
Yeah.
whatever you call it,
Monitor.
the monitor. But like, it's got the circle of death, red lights, and he's always like just staring right at it. I think we talked about this before.
Yeah.
It freaks him out.
Our baby monitor has got one little green light that flashes on the very bottom, and that is it.
Oh, dude. Yeah, ours is literally circles.
Yeah,
They're all red.
That would
and
freak me the fuck
it looks like the eye of Satan.
Yeah, it's
Just
like
straight up
fucking
staring.
squid eye looking at you all night. Like,
Straight up. Like, I'll go into bed with him in the morning if he's like kind of fussy or whatever, or waking up, and I'll go in there and he'll just sit there and be like, monster.
Yeah.
Because he knows monster now, and I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
But of course, I've got like Ludo from Labyrinth, and then a monster that's like, I want a hug. So he's like friendly monster, but this one is not a friendly monster.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't imagine so.
But dude, it's for us. Like, it just, even though I know he's good, and if he has a problem, he's gonna oh fuck, here's something else. He says dad. I'm like, you're too daddy, dude. Like,
Yeah.
don't like. He's like, dad. I'm like, no way.
Yeah. So
Stop that shit.
So like when Knox wakes up in the middle of the night, he does it like once every 3 months. It's not like regular by any means, but occasionally like he'll wake up and he's like inconsolable. But if he wakes up at any point in the night now and he's like upset, even if he goes back to sleep, he screams like "Daddy!"
Oh shit.
Like, I mean, like that's over and over. When we were down at the lake, we made some poor choices timing wise. And he woke up in the middle of the night, and I ended up having to, we had him in a different room, and I had to end up going in and like calm the fuck down, and ended up staying in the other room.
Yeah, I don't want to wake up to my kid screaming like my name,
Yeah.
dad or daddy, or
Yeah.
he calls me Josh too, though, so that's fucking weird.
Does he?
Dude, Shan taught him that.
I'm
My wife taught him that shit.
I'm pretty sure that our son calls Ashley Ash. Like he'll say "mama" like when coaxed.
Yeah.
But I had him in the bathtub one night. And he was like, "Ash,"
Daddy,
I was like,
Daddy, get Ash.
yeah, like, what the fuck?
Well, I know my wife like straight up trained his ass. She's like, say, hey Josh, and so now it's straight up, hey Josh, more milk, Josh, and I'm like, damn it, dude.
That is the
It's
best.
hilarious.
That
but
is the best thing I've ever heard. Like,
it's
well, at
funny
least
because
in a
he's
couple
little, but
days.
if he's old and he calls me Josh, I'm like, we gotta fucking nip this now.
Yeah, what's he gonna call you? Hey, asshole.
Hey Ash, that's better than Josh.
Joshua.
Yeah, Josh.
Joshua.
Very, very proper.
Yeah, Joshua. Could you please change my bum, Joshua?
Oh, kid talk is fun, man. We're gonna have some more kid talk here in a moment, right?
Yeah.
Don't sound so enthused.
No, man. Fuck this episode.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you guys already know what's coming because
I'm
we
not
talked
there.
about it and you,
I'm not
you
there
voted
yet,
for it. But
Not there yet.
no.
Do the plugs.
Do the plugs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're not really plugging anything except our website.
Website.
So go to botepodcast.com.
Yep.
That is our main hub. You can,
Find us everywhere.
that's right. Find all the social media links. Go to our Patreon link if you wouldn't mind supporting us.
Yep.
Every we don't really talk about this much, but just so you guys know, I think I made a video once, and I'll post it every once in a while. But every penny, the whole point of us doing it, and it was kind of a last resort, will go back into this podcast so that we can up the quality of the videos.
Yeah.
and
Well, I don't know if it's
audio.
you say last resort like they're going to shut the lights off. Like
No.
the podcast is going to continue on no matter
At the same level
at
of
the
quality.
same level.
Right.
To see improvements
Okay, that's fair.
in the quality of our
Of the show.
yeah
Yeah.
the product that you receive.
We're having fun, and you guys are supporting the shit out of
Yeah,
us,
man.
which is we've been blown away actually the past couple of days, man. It's been awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and thank you.
It's been steadily going up. I would say that it's been going up even through the fucking pandemic.
Yeah,
But man, the last week, it was just like every day. It was like, wait, is that?
it's been great. Yeah.
I was like, did I miss? Oh shit, no, that's going up, going up, going up. So yes, thank you.
So yeah, and we feel like we should, continue to improve what we're doing, and I think the only way to do that is the Patreon. So
Yep.
There it is. So yeah, botepodcast.com. We still got I Wrote for Boat going.
I wrote for boat. Then we got your you.
By the way, I didn't even notice you're wearing the shirt. Well, what?
What?
Represent. Sweet.
And then we've got You choose, we lose.
Yeah.
Episode picker.
Yeah. Well, tonight Shep loses.
Yeah, dude.
Apparently.
Fuck, man.
Last week, I thought when I first started researching the chicken coop murders, if you haven't gone and listened, listen to the last episode. And I sent you a text, I was like, man, this one's pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah.
It ended up being more weird. That was just a wild story. But I think you actually drew the short straw, where I thought it was going to be the other way around.
Yeah.
So, but the whole point is what he's calling the you choose, we lose is we give you the 4 suggestions and you guys choose the order that we do them and who does them.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really thought that the chicken coop murders was going to be the
the one, right?
The rough
I know.
one.
I did too.
I don't know, man.
Although this is literally called Girl Scout murders. So.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Well, yeah, but it could have been Girl Scouts killing people. That's, if you hadn't researched it, you're like kind of hoping for that.
You're quick on your feet and fucking make something up.
Yeah, it's just like
flip the script on.
No, it's. I'm gonna do the story what it deserves.
Yeah, right on. So, we'll eventually go to Waverly too. Yeah. We haven't talked about that in a while.
Sometime in 2024.
That's right. We have not.
Season 23.
We have not forgotten. But, we're not in any rush to get out there at the moment. So.
No. Something about tuberculosis hospital, summer, and pandemic.
Yeah.
It seems like the Bermuda Triangle of bad choices.
Yeah, you have chosen poorly.
Yeah. What mistakes have you made with your life? You get to the fucking pearly gates and they're like, dude.
What were you thinking?
Like, come on, man.
You knew where you were going.
Like, you knew what was going on. We just had to ask some questions.
Yeah.
Now you're out.
You're out.
Yeah, we just wanted to get your take.
Yeah, right.
On the situation as it exists.
You're definitely not getting in.
Yeah, but we had some looming questions.
We had bets going on what the actual true answer was.
Yeah, right.
You were forced at gunpoint. Lots of money was involved.
Yeah.
No.
Moses has death wish
right.
written. So, yeah, man. So. It is what it is. We'll make it to Waverly.
Yeah, eventually.
We'll do a field trip episode.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So
we also maybe quite possibly have some collabs.
Some collabs, yeah.
Living in the shadows. So stay tuned.
We went back and forth with it, but I think that will be in our future.
We might.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, we're gonna keep trying some new shit.
Yeah.
So
why not?
Why the fuck not?
Why not?
That's right. I think that's it, man. Got all the plugs out of the way. I know you're like, fuck, I just keep talking about something, so I don't have to do this.
I kind of want to just get this one out of the way.
Let's pull the Band-Aid off, man.
I just kind of want to get this one out of the way. I came with notes.
Literally, he has a notebook. This is 2020, man.
Dude, this is
getting weird.
So, okay, so Girl Scout murders, just put that out there. That's the topic that I have for the evening. I did a fucking lot of research on this because, I mean, obviously, child murder doesn't sit well as a topic. That's not what I'm saying. But, like, the way this story breaks down didn't sit well with me. So I kept looking for that needle in the haystack. And so I did a lot of research. Like, I covered a lot of bases trying to, I want to know what this was and what this was and what this was. And I was picking at that proverbial scab.
Yeah. I would expect nothing less
for some more information. So. Okay, so the Girl Scout murders is a 40-plus year old cold case, for anyone who doesn't know.
How old is the Girl Scouts? I don't even know it went back that...
Seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't do a fucking side bet on how old the fucking Girl Scout
but I'm just saying,
organization is.
I was surprised you even said 40 years.
Oh, yeah,
I feel like it would...
Well, I think a lot of the reason that this is still a cold case is because of that 40 years.
Okay.
And I'll fucking explain.
Okay.
But anyway, so
the look of death I just got. Dude. I wasn't asking for the answer, just so you know. I was just more like saying,
hold on, let me Google it.
And I really
you're not doing anything. This is your night off. You fucking look it up.
No, because I didn't really want the answer. I was more making a comment, a rhetorical question. I should have said, but I didn't realize it was that old. Is all I'm saying. I didn't want a fucking answer.
They're old.
They're old.
Okay. At first, my brain didn't click right, and I thought you were asking how old the actual Girl Scouts are.
How old is the Girl Scouts?
No, I thought you were asking the individual Girl Scouts. Like, how old are they? I'm like, they're fucking not old, man. They're dead.
They're young.
They're fucking dead.
That's horrible.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Trigger alert, this is going to be a very heavy episode,
Yeah.
in case you missed it.
That's right.
And I'm not going to poke fun.
No.
But
a lot of defense laughter probably coming your way.
There you go.
All right.
So on June the 12th, 1977, 137 young girls made their way to the camp, the Girl Scout camp in the Oklahoma area. I don't know,
Yeah.
They were scheduled for 2 weeks of fun in the sun, bonding, and, crafts, all that good stuff.
Yay.
Okay. This is the story of the murder of 3 young girls between the ages of 8 and 10.
God damn.
They were also, just a heads up, they were also beaten and raped in the process of this. So,
yikes. All right.
2 months prior to the murders, the camp was getting prepared for things. They brought the camp counselors in to kind of do like a training, tour, all that good stuff. Like, just a little,
prep work.
Yeah, like
set up the camp.
Yeah, set up the camp. Just get familiar with things. And in that time, one of the camp counselors found her campsite ransacked, and her items had been strewn apart.
Uh-huh.
The donuts that were in the donut box were stolen.
God damn it! No, no.
And there was a note left inside the donut box that said, let me see. I want to get the exact quote here because it's pretty fucking like spot on. We are on a mission to kill 3 girls in tent 1.
Shut the fuck up.
I swear to God. 2 months before the murders. So they find this note that says, we are on a mission to kill 3 young girls in tent number 1, and drew a picture of a hanged man at the bottom.
If you tell me that the girls actually got killed in tent 1, I'm going to be so fucking pissed.
Well, there's some arguments.
I know I'm jumping ahead.
Like, so I read a lot of stuff. I did my due diligence on this one. Some people said it said tent 1. Some people said it said tent 8. There's some disparity on because when this was brought to the attention of the head counselor or whatever, it was decided that this was a shitty prank because there was mention of Martians in the note. The exact wording of the note is up for question, as the note was destroyed, never provided to the police, and none of the parents were warned before.
Oh my God.
The camp.
That motherfucker
started.
The finder of that note.
Yeah. Well, it's not her fault. Like, the girl who had this happen found the note, she went to the main counselors, and the counselors were like, they kind of talked to the other counselors and were like,
we're going to ruin camp.
Yeah, because, all right, so I thought about this. I thought about this quite a bit. I was like, if you didn't know that down the road that there were going to be 3 young girls killed in tent 1, right? Which we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, this is 1977. Like, kids scare each other at the fucking camp. There's all those, like, creepy fucking whatever stories, like Jason. Like, a lot of people are like, is this the real Jason killer? Like, people on
Camp Crystal.
Yeah. So it was kind of, there was a lot of slasher flicks coming out about that time. So it's kind of hard, but
put yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
Would you take it seriously enough to actually?
Right.
Yeah, but
so there's a lot to this story, man, where there's a lot of balls being dropped.
Okay, right.
So that's just the first.
That's a big one.
Yeah. So, like I said, on June 12th, 1977, 137 girls moved into this like campsite, and the way that it's broken up is that the girls are subdivided into groups of 3 and 4 per tent, and they're basically in these circles. Okay, the tents are all in kind of like a semicircle, and then the camp counselor that's assigned to these subgroups is kind of like in the middle, so that they're kind of close to, hear what's going on. So the kids start arriving in the late afternoon, early evening. The kids are told, like, hey, take your stuff. This is the camp. This is the tent that you're supposed to go to. Go here, go here, go here. There was actually a clerical error, and there was something miswritten in one of the roster logs. There was actually supposed to be 4 young girls in the tent that will be in question. But as it started to rain around 7 p.m., they didn't want to have this girl jostle up and pick her stuff up out of the tent that she was in and move it, so she stayed in the tent that she was in. So,
but the records, like the document,
yes,
the records
there were supposed to be 4,
okay,
not just the 3. Which I guess if you're writing a note about killing 3 young girls in a tent, is like, were we just lucky?
Yeah.
So there's some,
well, that little girl that didn't get moved into that tent.
That's everyone had. When you read this story, like everyone that points that out is like, oh, this saved her life.
Right.
But maybe it didn't. Maybe it killed the other 3 girls.
We don't know yet.
Yeah, because okay. So it starts raining around 7 o'clock at night. At this point, it's not horrible rain, but it's pretty steady rain. So the counselors go around and tell everybody to write your letters home. You know, first night at camp, like write your first letter home. And the 2 of the girls in camp, in tent 8, write basically like, love you, mommy. Love you, daddy. Like,
you haven't been there long. I thought you like write notes home.
You're supposed to write it like every day.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this was supposed to be their first letter home.
Okay.
And
day one was,
it would actually be their last.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know how to do this creepy shit. You know, like, I'm just inadvertently creepy.
That makes it creepy.
Yeah. So
no, but you know, there's not much to write about on the first day home. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, well,
weird.
But one of the 3 girls wrote the letter that was found.
Oh.
Yeah, because they found all 3
They
letters.
found them. Oh,
said, I hate it here. Camp is terrible.
Damn, first day.
Yeah, first day. But a lot of kids hate camp.
Homesick.
You know? Yeah, like, fuck this. Why are you sending me off? And that's like cheap ass daycare.
Right.
You know, like, send your kid away for 2 weeks. It's like,
parents are like, yes.
Let's go make him a brother.
Oh, dude. Imagine how guilty the parents are. Oh, fuck. This is horrible.
Okay,
There's
so much. Dude, there's so much.
All right.
Okay. All right. So they start writing these letters, blah, 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 blah. So sometime between 7 p.m. and 1 a.m., the rains pick up, get pretty heavy. Multiple campers hear a guttural growling out in the woods on the way towards the bathrooms. Jeez. To the point where it scares some of these kids, and they go and tell some of the counselors. At one point, the counselors like listening for this noise, and they hear it, and they're shining a flashlight in the rain, trying to see if they can see anything, and they kind of attribute this to being like animal
bears?
noises and shit like that. So the one thing that is interesting about this whole scenario is that this is repeated by multiple witnesses, and when one of the counselors who hears about this takes us back to this is the one where the counselor, she doesn't want to go and say anything to the main head counselor.
Because she's hearing it, you mean?
Yeah, because she doesn't want to be labeled as the scaredy cat counselor.
Well, I mean, you're in the woods, like...
I mean, yeah, but that could be a fucking animal attacking the kids, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you got to check on the kids, right? No, right.
Which doesn't happen.
Okay, right. I see what you're saying.
So she just like, oh, I hear animal growling. Fuck it, I'm staying in my tent.
Well, if it's that close, yeah, you need to, as an adult, you need to check on that shit.
It's probably a 17-year-old kid. Come on.
As the camp counselor, I guess you signed up to take care of the...
You signed up to be the first one killed.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, note to self, never be a fucking camp counselor.
So the really, really tragic one is that at one point the camp counselor hears screaming and whimpering of a child to the point where it's saying, "Mommy, mommy,
Oh, come on.
And she does take this to the head camp counselor, and the camp counselor says, "No, just ignore it. Don't worry about it. This first night at the camp that we see this stuff quite a bit. Kids are just homesick. It's not a big deal." So
That's so fucked.
So yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Next morning around 6 a.m., one of the camp counselors gets an early start on the day and is heading down to go take a shit, and finds one of the bodies finds 3 sleeping bags, like kind of discarded off in the brush. They thought it was just luggage that the kids had not put away before the rains had start. And she stumbles upon the half-naked body of, I think, the 8-year-old girl. They didn't do. I mean, they're not. It would turn out that she was beaten so savagely with a blunt object that it left indentations in the skull and the face. But she was also raped, and then she would end up. The cause of death was strangulation.
Jesus.
Yeah. So after seeing this, they don't bother with looking through anything else. They call the police.
This is so much worse than chicken coop, just by the way.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
Yeah.
Like,
So
even if it stops right here.
So the police, they show up. They think that they're coming for like one body. They're not real sure what happened. Gets there, and it turns out that the other 2 girls that were the tent mates were found inside their sleeping bags, also discarded.
In the tent or in
No,
those sleeping bags?
Yeah.
Oh.
So all 3 of the bodies were found 100 yards from their tent. 2 of them were still in the sleeping bags.
Okay.
Both of the girls in the sleeping bags had their skulls bashed in, and were essentially killed inside the tent. The third girl was dragged out and is assumed to be the one who was making the noises that were heard throughout the night.
Oh, dude, that's awful.
Yeah.
That's fucking awful.
So
just ignore it.
Just ignore it. It's probably fine.
It's the norm.
It's probably fine. I know you just heard animal noises and shit, but it's probably fine.
Yeah, the animal noises is one thing, but hearing a child call for their mommy.
I mean, I'm not, again,
yeah,
7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids, like away from their parents, maybe for the first time, out in the woods.
Shouldn't you comfort them regardless?
I would agree. I would agree that might be a better choice. It was said that one of the other campers recalls a man with a flashlight coming to the tent, to their tent, a different tent, unzipping the bag, looking inside with a flashlight, and then zipping it back up and going along his way. That child was so frightened that all the children stayed inside the tent and didn't move until morning. So to keep
now that I get
to keep the campers calm the next day, they don't tell any of these children what's going on. They take them kind of down the road to like a swimming area and keep them occupied for most of the day while their parents are contacted to have them all picked up.
How do you fake being happy after that shit?
You probably don't.
Yeah, the kids are like, nah, something's off.
Yeah. So anyway, all the parents show up to pick up their kids. They have no idea. They just hear that there had been an issue and that they needed to come pick up their children. Oh. This is how the parents of all 3 of the young girls find out that their children are dead and then have to speak to the police.
They came to pick up their kids?
Yeah. They were not notified until they actually got to the camp. Their children were very brutally murdered on the first night at camp.
I mean, I know it's not something you really do over the phone. It's an in-person. But
right. So of the crime scene, things that were collected was obviously the letters home to their family members, which were kind of chilling.
Oh, dude,
knowing what would occur. Yeah. There was also footprints inside the tent and inside out on the trail of a men's size 9.5 shoe. There was signs that the blood was they tried to clean up the blood in the tent because there were smear marks.
Like they tried to cover.
Yeah. And there was let
me clean up the tent, but leave the body. Like,
yeah.
What are you fucking?
Well, they also found a long black hair that was not one of the victim's hair,
okay.
which kind of come into play later. And then at the actual site where the bodies were found, they found a large red flashlight with a single fingerprint on the lens and blood covering the flashlight. So that's the crime scene.
So a hair, smeared blood, and a
smeared
flashlight.
blood,
But they got a fingerprint.
and a footprint.
Footprint. Okay.
So fast forward.
Damn, dude. That's fucked.
Yeah, that's that. So
Yeah, we're a dark comedy podcast. I sometimes, boy.
yeah, dude, there's not a lot of fucking humor you can fucking do with this one. So anyway, the main suspect, the person who is suspected of these crimes, was basically provided to the police officers by way of a anonymous tip to the phone line. They said the man who did the murders at the Girl Scout. By the way, the camp closed forever on June 13th, 1977. After these murders.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see why.
Done. Which I don't know who's gonna want to fucking send their kids.
Next year, we promise more security.
Yeah, you want to send your kids to murder camp?
The murder camp, right?
Yeah, they they could either be a witness or a victim. So yeah. So anyway, the police receive a anonymous phone call saying that the suspect is holed up in a cabin not far from where the camp is.
Okay, so this is I immediately go to one of the counselors, but
yeah,
is Girl Scouts are they all female counselors?
They didn't really say they did. Okay, so when they basically apprehend the suspect, it's been almost a year. It's been 10 months. So they did their due diligence. Yeah, the largest manhunt in Oklahoma history. At that point, it was 800 people, I believe, were searching for the killer.
Damn.
When this news story first broke, and this is small town Oklahoma. These motherfuckers don't mess about.
Right.
So
and I'm assuming the fingerprint. They didn't have like a name or a face other than
So they ran the fingerprint. This is 1977.
What? Right.
So forensic science isn't exactly the tip top of the fucking
right.
spear or whatever. But
they made some improvements.
All known. They ran it against the FBI database, local databases, like incarcerate everybody they could run this fingerprint against, and it hit 0 matches.
Okay, right.
Okay. So anyway, they apprehend this gentleman by the name of Gene Leroy Hart.
Leroy.
Yeah, who had 4 years prior escaped from prison.
Oh, jeez.
Where he was spending some time there for rape and burglary.
Oh, boy.
There were some telltale signs in the rapes that he had been convicted of that
was he a pedo?
seemed similar to the details of the rape and things that had happened to these young girls in the Girl Scout camp. He is acquitted for the murders.
Oh.
Fingerprint does not match his fingerprint. His foot is too large for the 9.5 size footprint in the mud and in the tent. And while he was running for 4 years for his would be upheld convictions of 309 years for rape and burglary and assault.
Okay.
He visibly cried when he was acquitted for the murders of these 3 young girls in trial.
Oh, thank God. Well, I'm still fucked, but...
Well, right. So every law enforcement person associated with this case was fairly well convinced that he at least had a hand in this crime. One of them even went to the point to saying to a local newspaper that he was 1,000% sure that this was the responsible party.
I don't be saying all that. Don't.
So
that's a pretty bold statement, man.
So after he is acquitted for the rape and murder of these 3 young girls, he is sent back to prison for the 309 years that he had on the shelf. 2 weeks later, he dies of a massive heart attack inside the prison
God,
at the age of 35.
Whoa.
Yeah. Dies on the spot.
Damn.
So,
Karma?
well, we'll see.
Yeah.
So,
Leroy.
yeah. So then they find the murder cave.
Oh,
Murder cave.
the murder cave.
The murder cave is located very close to the camp where the girls were killed. Inside the murder cave, they found newspapers and photographs, and on the scrawling on the wall, it had the date 6/17/1977, and it says, "The real killer was here. Bye bye, fools." Written on the wall. The photographs, by the way, found in the cave were positively identified as photographs that were taken and developed by Gene Leroy Hart while in prison. And the newspaper that was found inside the murder cave had a piece torn out of it, rolled up. It was also found inside of the flashlight to help keep the batteries from jaggling around and making noise.
Wow. Wait. Leroy. Hold on.
Gene Leroy Hart.
But you said while he was in prison. You lost it.
He escaped prison.
Oh.
And was on the lam for 4 years.
In the murder cave.
Well, wherever. They found him in a cabin, but...
Okay, right.
You know,
but he'd clearly been in the cave.
That is the assumption.
Okay, right.
Conspiracy theorists have said that the sheriff, local law enforcement, had a boner for this guy.
Mm.
And even to the point that they were trying to frame him. And that...
obviously, he wasn't a good guy. I mean,
but
easy scapegoat.
They said that, I think it was the sheriff at the time, even had those photographs were in his desk, and that he had planted them in said murder cave.
Like the murder cave was like a
staged area.
Wow.
That they used to...
this is a theory. Right?
A theory, yeah. Okay. So that's the reason that this is a 40-year-old cold case file. So here is the reason that I am pretty convinced that it is Gene Leroy Hart is at least accomplice to the murders. It was said that a confidential anonymous tipster was the one who sent the police to find him in this random abandoned cabin. Right?
Right.
Who the fuck is going to know that he's there? All right?
Yeah, that's pretty fishy.
Then if you rewind the clock to 2 months before these murders happened, the note that was found supposedly in the donut box, it says, "We are on a mission."
Oh, right.
Not I.
You led with that.
Yeah.
It did say we.
It says, "We are on a mission to kill 3 young girls."
So,
Tent 8. Tent 1, whatever.
Well, go ahead. You may chime in.
Well, I mean, you can. Yeah.
Well,
I don't have no rules.
Yeah, I know. But, so the one thing that popped in my head was 3 girls, if he was raping the one girl, you would have thought that there would be some blood-curdling screaming, unless there was another person to,
Yeah.
Unless they were bludgeoned first, I guess.
So,
but it sounds...
So in what I have been able to... What I think happened was, I think that there was they found the tent with the 3 girls in it. Mm-hmm. We looking for 3 girls in tent 1, right. Whatever. Found 3 girls. And they grabbed the first one. She probably freaks out, screams, wakes up the other 2, clubs the other 2 with the flashlight, kills them, and then drags them out in the woods to do what they want. All 3 girls were sexually assaulted, mutilated. Yeah, so some probably post-mortem.
Right.
And then bagged back up and left in the woods. Other people say that, that these girls, there's 3 of them, and they were out 100 yards from the tent. There's no way that one person could have done this.
Quietly.
Well, it wasn't very quiet. I mean, you got downpour rain all night.
That's true. But
they do this to the point where, I mean, even 8, 10-year-olds, whatever, 8, 9, 10-year-old, camp counselors, whatever. Nobody sees it.
Right.
Even everything that's going on. You even got counselors who said that they were looking out into the direction of the noise.
Yeah, they should have been looking out for tent number 1 just in case.
Well, I'm sure a lot
Or
of that,
all the tents.
I'm sure that some of that just kind of like went out the fucking window. They didn't. That wasn't until the next day that when they find bodies, they're like, "Oh shit, something happened."
God damn it! That donut fucking ladder.
Yeah. So there's some discussion that it was a racially motivated framing of Gene Leroy.
Oh, Leroy.
He was a local Cherokee man who, while he had been charged and convicted of rape and burglary and things like that, it was said that anyone who knew him knew that he was not a great dude, but would have never crossed the children barrier. I think that there had to be more than one person.
Right.
And with Leroy dying 2 weeks after going into prison, it's kind of hard to...
Well, and he was acquitted already.
Yeah.
So...
You're not going to fucking say anything. So, I don't know, man. This is like... a majority of my research was like going backwards, like trying to backtrack this first note. I was like, okay, man, there's got to be fucking details in this first note, right?
Right.
They're saying shit about Martians and weird stuff like that. All right.
Yeah, so you didn't read that part. I guess maybe it's...
Well, you can't find the note. They threw it away. They got rid of it.
Oh, okay. So
right
there's
after,
no... Okay.
Yeah, there's... I mean, I've looked everywhere for like an actual...
So they said the words that you read, but they also like went on...
Yeah, it was apparently like some weird shit. And that's why it was kind of considered a prank. It's because
it got weird.
Yeah, like... Well, I mean,
it was weird.
It's already weird. But,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You bring up murder and then Martians, you're like, well, now all of a sudden people are going, you whack. This is ridiculous.
This is somebody fucking with you.
Right. This is ridiculous.
They ate your donuts and gave you a weird note. Like, shut the fuck up.
Right.
But, I mean, in, the lens of history, it's like, oh shit, that was probably pretty fucking important.
Yeah.
If somebody had hung on to that, it was...
Especially since aliens are real.
So, anyway, the forensics labs last year or the year before actually started running some of the DNA evidence again from this case. But it was found that it was too deteriorated to positively identify anyone. While it will be said that in 1977 they did positively identify the long black hair strand as being Gene Leroy's.
Oh, they did?
In 1977, forensic science was not strong enough or defined enough of a science for them to actually confirm that this was the location, this X, Y, and Z.
Well, okay.
But here's the argument. So if you know forensic science kind of sucks at that point, you're not going to use a single hair strand to try to convict someone of forensic if you're in the law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of like throws a lot of the questions about it. But there's a lot of weird shit, like the newspaper being in the fucking flashlight. Like somebody couldn't have backtracked that. Like the stage crime scene, they would have had to have that newspaper.
Right.
Oh, right. So there's like, that's why this one's, I think this is the reason why this is kind of like a case like that people talk about. I mean, it's fucking heinous. Like I get that people like, if it bleeds, it leads kind of shit.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that this one's kind of like, people don't like question marks, and there's a lot of question
unsolved.
Marks. Yeah. There's a lot of question marks in this case.
Wow. Well, I think after listening, you're probably, my brain goes to where you do. I think, okay, so the hair was Leroy's. I don't want to call him Leroy. Gene.
Leroy.
Name Leroy.
Yeah.
But Gene, his hair, but obviously the fingerprints and the foot didn't match because there was another person.
That's one thing. And the other argument is, that I don't know if I said this earlier. If I did, tell me to shut up. But the argument was that there had to be more than one person because the negotiation of trying to get these 3 kids out to the fucking 100 yards.
Well, you had mentioned,
But they're saying that like one person couldn't have done that. And I'm like, well, if 2 of the kids are dead, then you do something horrible to kid number 3, and then you just get the bodies out there later.
It takes longer, but you can do it.
Like I think one person could most certainly do that. I do
Especially
feel
these
like
are little kids, man.
yeah, I do
carry them.
Yeah, I do feel like this is it. It makes more sense to my brain that 2 people did this.
Yeah, which sucks because that means somebody got away with it.
Yeah, so maybe Leroy made a rape friend.
Yeah,
And the
I
rape
shouldn't laugh at that. That's fucking horrible.
the rape friend enjoyed younger, and
Yeah.
Leroy might not have been down to clown, so to speak,
It's possible.
and didn't. That's why he,
I'd really like to know if
that's
there
why
were-
his footprints didn't match. He was like, "No, bro, look, if this got weird, I'm out."
Yeah, I'd really like to know if there was male camp counselors or anything, because if there's
Dude,
an inside story,
I'm
an inside
Yeah,
man.
I mean that's kind of where my head was too. But dude, if this kind of case, that those fucking dudes in Oklahoma in 1977 aren't letting anybody across the fucking
And in '77, there probably wasn't male
I mean, there might have been.
camp counselors.
Yeah, dude,
for-
look at fucking
Actually-
Friday the 13th, man.
but wasn't that
a lot
was-
of those dudes
Those
were
boys and girls.
yeah,
But this is the Girl Scouts.
Yeah, but they were counselors, weren't they?
Yeah,
So
but there was girls and boys, and
this is
the
a girl.
boys-
This is a Girl Scout camp.
That's what I'm saying. So I was in the Boy Scouts
Yeah.
for a I got kicked out for dropping a stink bomb. But anyway, it was lame as fuck. But it was all men. Men chaperones, men, whatever they call them. Counselor? No, but it was like
chaperone. I guess is
guess
what you send to.
I guess was it
something.
They were Boy Scouts, but they were like adult Boy Scouts. I don't know. The Eagle
Leaders?
Scouts, maybe leaders, maybe.
Scoutmasters.
Scoutmaster. That's what it was.
There you
Yeah. Oh, you were in it too?
go.
Samesies?
No,
You're like, fuck no.
no.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, if I wanted to set something on fire, I just set it on fire. Like, if
Right.
I wanted to fucking go in the woods, I just went in the woods.
I don't need a badge.
Yeah, I don't need, tie a rope. Fuck you.
Do not.
No.
I tie my shoes.
Yeah, I'm not selling your shit. Like,
Yeah. I signed up with a buddy of mine or something. I don't remember, but I did not last long.
No.
Let's put it that way.
yeah, I mean, I think my parents had me try, like, one of the tester meetings or something. I was like, fuck this, dude.
I'm good.
No.
Yeah, right.
These kids are wearing ascots. I'm out.
Straight up.
I'm out. I mean, for everyone out there that's a Boy Scout, good for you. Or like Eagle Scout, I know you get like a free ride to
My
college.
dad was
or
an Eagle
whatever.
Scout.
Yeah, you get like a free ride to college and shit. Good for you.
Do you really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a free ride to college if you're an Eagle
Looks
Scout.
like my kid's going to be an Eagle Scout. Fucking A.
Uh,
No, we don't have to go there. Yeah, I know right where your brain went.
dude, didn't the Scouts get
They
like?
got a bunch of trouble. And
Well,
shit.
yeah, but didn't they just like say no more? Like we're done. Like when the Boy Scouts of America say,
Oh, I
we're
don't
folding
know.
up shop.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, like
We'll tiptoe
100 million in lawsuits for sexual.
Yeah, there's some gnarly shit. I don't know if they're over or what. Yeah,
Wow.
fuck it. Who cares?
I didn't dig into the.
No, that's fair. But so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, so the Girl Scouts, there's probably women leaders,
Yes.
scout leader or whatever. So probably not an inside person. I guess there could be evil women too. I don't know why that's
Yeah.
super sexist.
I
of me.
mean, the size of the shoe was a 9.5
Well,
male shoe, but that could just be a really large-footed woman, I guess.
I'll say I'm a 9.5. I got small ass feet, so
ATS. Did you do
it was me. I was born in
it?
'77.
Yeah. Not even at the time of the
I'm as
murder.
old as the Girl Scouts, dude.
not even like you weren't even born when this happened.
No, it was December.
Yeah.
I'm clear.
Good alibi.
Good alibi.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
shit. Wow, man.
So I don't know how to feel about this case. Like I did a
Right.
lot of research back and forth trying to kind of, I felt like I was like, okay, it's 1977. There's going to be something glaring here. Why does this case keep coming up? And there's a lot of podcasts have covered this case. And I mean, I can kind of see why.
Yeah, a lot of people covered it because it's not solved.
Yeah,
Like it's still an open.
That's the only
case,
reason
so-
I can see that. I mean, there's a couple conspiracy theories out there the one that I thought was the most compelling is the fact that he was targeted for his racial heritage and supposedly framed by local law enforcement. But I'm like, he's got rape on his.
Yeah.
I mean,
they found the hair that matched his, or I guess they found it. Right, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, to me, there's a lot of things that, like the newspaper, I think that's what, like, triggers my fucking brain. Like, they found a newspaper in this fucking murder cave, and it just so happened to have part of it ripped out and was folded up and put inside the battery portion of the flashlight to keep it quiet. And I mean, I don't know, man. It just seemed very fucking weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
There's a lot of like little like in and out details about this case where you're like, well, what the fuck is going on? And you know, like there was another guy that was kind of a suspect for a little while, but apparently he had like an airtight alibi. Like the guy the cabin or whatever where they found Gene belonged to this local Oklahoma Tulsa man or some shit, and that's where they found rope that matched the rope that was found on the bodies. They found some tape, some other items that were found at the cabin were also found on the bodies and at the crime scene. Now the guy apparently had like a spot on like solid ass alibi. And he was like, dude, my fucking cabin is out in the middle of nowhere. It gets broken into all the fucking time. Like
Gene was there.
Right. But I mean, there's a lot of like little things about this case, you know. I think I said this a few episodes back. When it comes to like murder investigations, one of the biggest issues is that there's a lot of things that fall into different buckets. Like there's things that you when you're doing an investigation on something like this, you get things that are falling all into the same bucket, and you're like, okay, this is my main theory. But then you have all these other pieces of evidence that kind of fall into other buckets, and you're like, well, I don't know how these pieces fit and why they're here. And some of them could be coincidental information. And so, but, you got Gene Leroy, who died 2 weeks after being in prison. There's just a lot. That's why this case is 40 years old. Like the fact that DNA evidence, forensics evidence can't solve it, can't get us to a.
Damn, it doesn't look like there's an ending for this one.
No. I mean, that's really where I was for it. You texted me, I guess, a couple days ago, and you're like, you ready for this? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I've done a lot of digging, and, my brain doesn't like question marks.
I know,
like, right. I like to say, hey, man, this is what I think.
Well, you like to come up with your own theory, and usually you're like, no, this makes sense, so this is my theory. With this one, you're like,
I mean, I think Gene Leroy had a part of it.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I just don't know who his accomplice would have been, because I think there has to have been an accomplice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and if there's not even another, well, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I think that's why. I think that's a little bit. I mean, of course, the subject matter. I'm like, fuck this episode, but I'd also fuck this episode because it's just sitting in limbo for me. And tons of people have their own theories, and I just this one for me was just.
Yeah, I don't even want to go into conspiracy theory. If I was digging, I would have tried to steer clear because I get it. You could always go like a cop has to meet a quota. They got to find their bad guy.
Right.
But
you got a town that's up in arms and
try to make people feel
understandably so.
Yeah.
And,
do right by the parents.
Yeah. And then you got this guy who's on the fucking lam for 300 years.
Who's a rapist?
I mean, those pieces could fit rather well.
Yeah.
I don't know where I land on this one, man. That's what I don't like. Because, I mean, there's the thing that I think is the most damning about it, besides, like, I don't give a shit about the hair. I don't give a shit about, fingerprint. I don't give a shit about any of that. The piece of the puzzle that is the most damning for me that Gene Leroy had a piece of this is that there were said to be signs that were similar in his previous rapes.
Okay, yeah.
That were present in these murders.
How do you get acquitted? So. But what were you said there was pictures?
So, yeah. So there was
pictures of the
No.
murder site?
No.
Oh.
Pictures that had been positively identified as being Gene Leroy's photos that he had taken while in prison and developed while in prison.
That's where I got.
Were
okay.
found at the murder cave.
I got you. Okay.
And I call it murder cave. It's not really a murder cave. Right. It's just kind of like this was found, and it was date. The date that's on the wall is like 4 days after.
Right. No. Okay, so I meant to ask you about that. That's where I got lost, but you cleared it up.
Yeah. So
okay.
I mean, there's a lot of things in here pointing to
to
Gene, but there's a lot of things pointing to somebody that ain't Gene.
Which so then I'm pretty confident to feel like if it's two people, Gene was one of them, and there's another one.
So maybe had Gene not died of a massive heart attack 2 weeks after getting arrested and being only 35, that kind of screams conspiracy theory to me too.
Yeah, it's one of
35,
those.
35 is
died of a heart attack.
Look, I know he's Native American, and us Native Americans have a tendency to have a bad ticker.
Well,
but
35 is young.
That's young. I mean, that's like doing like rail after rail of coke.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't sound like he was living a real soft fucking life either. So
right.
Not really getting checked out by a cardiologist when you're on the run from the cops for fucking 4 years.
That's true. Wow, man, this is a.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I knew it was going to be a heavy one, but it's horrible.
Yeah, it's
just fucking horrible.
Like the way the parents found out, the way that the counselors were just kind of like. I mean, I want to fucking point the finger at the counselors, but it's kind of hard to.
I started off doing that because I'm going.
I mean, yes, I kind of agree with you. They should be out there like comforting the kids and doing things like that, but it's hard to fucking. I mean, it's hard to say it's that.
It's easy to sitting right here in the basement, and the lazy boy going. Well, if I was there, I would have fucking solved the case.
Solved the case. Yeah, but I mean,
I get it.
It could have been 15 murders had the kids started slowly.
Yeah, going in.
Walking out there.
Yeah.
I do think the rain is interesting because rain obviously had to wash a fair amount of the physical evidence away.
Yeah.
But the rain also kept the campers in their tents and the counselors in their tents. I think the death toll would have been significantly higher had it not been.
Although they left the note that said 3. So
and there was some idea that they were.
How did they know there was going to be
shopping.
3 per tent?
They were shopping.
See, I keep going back to this inside thing. How did they know there was going to be 3 people in tent 1 or whatever?
I mean, maybe one of the camp counselors was fucking Gene.
Right.
Gene Leroy.
Gene Leroy.
And they wanted to have a gross fucking thing going on.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. We'll never know, and that is aggravating.
Much more aggravating for families.
Oh, well, yeah.
But,
not doubting that. Yeah, this is a sad one.
It's sad.
It's sad.
It's sad in that there's no real resolution. No bad guy you can really point your finger at.
Right.
I mean, Gene Leroy, but...
He's dead.
But, I mean, he could have not been the dude.
Right.
Like, he could have just...
And then the other 2 dudes...
Yeah.
Because I still think there's 2 guys, even if it wasn't Gene.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know if there was a string... I'm not going to do any of this research.
Yeah, we're done with this one.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the part that I ripped the pages, my notes out, and just left them here because I'm like, dude, I'm walking away from this one.
Keep him out of my house.
But I'm
in the creepy
wondering
basement.
if there would, be similar MO cases of crimes like this. Like, maybe somebody was like, maybe it's like 2 dudes riding the rails, and, they went on a fucking rape and murder spree across the Midwest in 77, 78, 79, and they just never got caught.
Maybe it is one person and it's a serial killer who did get caught and just never got...
Yeah, it's fucking Zodiac Killer starting this way.
Right.
He just changed his MO down the road.
Right.
I don't know, man. It's sad all around. Like, it's
good
sad
suggestion, guys.
Yeah, fucking charmer.
Thanks for...
No, I mean, it is.
I get why it was
sad.
It's
sad. Like, I was about halfway through doing this research, and I was like, I understand why this is the case. Like, I obviously understand why it's the case.
Yeah.
But I understand why a lot of people cover this one.
Well, there's 2 different sides. People like the gore and the scary and the horrible, but also it's unsolved, and people like, unsolved mysteries.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad they do. I'm glad I didn't solve this one for you.
Yeah.
Because I gotta fucking rattle this shit around in my fucking noodle.
Well, the first two suggestions have been fairly gnarly.
Well, here's the deal.
Thanks, Skulls.
Like, please, for our sanity, let's back off the child rape and murder for a little while.
Just for a
Any
few
suggestions. Guys?
Technically, the next two suggestions are already,
they're already in the bag. But
yeah.
The
one I don't know anything about though, so we'll see.
I don't know. I mean,
good stuff. Your research was good though, because I mean, like I feel like it would have been too easy just to leave out some of those little details. You know what I mean? Which makes it more confusing, to be honest with you, and a little bit more aggravating that you don't have any answers. But
I mean, that's
not you, but
those were some of the things I was digging into, man.
Right.
That's some of the fucking reasons that, like, a lot of the times we go pretty straightforward with some of these, where it's like boom, 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 boom.
Right.
And with this one, like, some of the fucking things that I like listened to or watched on this was just like, I mean, it's kind of like an even split of like, your basically like your Dateline kind of thing.
Oh, right.
Or like somebody who is like trying to go like way too fucking investigative reporter, and I'm like, nobody's got an answer on this one. But I was like looking for that one clue.
Aliens. I do. I have the answer.
Yeah, it's aliens.
You just told us they're real, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It was in the note.
If there's ever a question,
aliens.
it's aliens. But no, I was looking for that like one fucking kernel of like somebody who said something in one of the one podcast or said something on one website. And it was just a throwaway that other people had just kind of been skipping over because it's always some shit like that.
Right.
Man. It's like that's why I was looking at the note. I was like, everybody fucking disregarded this first note as a prank and bullshit. That was like why I looked at it. I was like, well, why does it say we? That already like, I think there's a lot more to that first note than what people kind of because it's referenced a lot.
Right.
But like, we
the we that's big.
That says to me that there's multiple.
Yeah. And not one person trying to throw them off of the. Yeah, I think it's they, two people did it.
So, I feel like that fingerprint was staged by the killer. Or
killers.
Well, there would have been two.
Right.
If it was killers. But whoever masterminded the fucking shit, I think they put their fingerprint on there as like a calling card type thing. That would be my assumption. You would have found more fingerprints.
Right.
One fingerprint. One single
a fingerprint.
Pristine fingerprint found that could be dusted and collected.
If all the other ones were.
Yeah.
And
then there was like,
now that sounds like a police work there.
But then why would they put a fingerprint on there that they can't attach to anybody?
Yeah, right.
Like why is there a newspaper that was found in the flashlight and then in the murder cave? Like there's a lot of like little pieces. Like even if they staged this to show that Gene Leroy is the killer when he wasn't, there's a lot of things. It's like a lot of fucking details where you're like, well, if that's the case, then why the fuck are all these other details here?
Right.
That like makes it worse. It's easier to believe that Gene Leroy is part of the fucking deal.
Yeah.
With another person.
Right.
Somebody sold him out.
Yeah.
Well,
the head scratcher.
Thanks. Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, dude, that's dark. That's good. It's confusing, but I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over too.
No, obviously we scratched the surface on some horrible shit.
Yeah.
With this podcast that we doing.
This show.
But this, it's kind of like the Ramirez thing with me. Where I was like, there's like when I fucking hate when it's just like
I don't get it.
It's in the ether.
Yeah, right.
Like it's just the soup doesn't match the.
Well, with him it was like okay, but we had an ending. There was some resolve.
Yeah.
Okay, we know who did it. This is how it ended. This one is like, fuck.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, why do you put
Hinterkaifeck, way back. That was a.
no longer an episode that you can find.
Oh, that's right.
That episode has been removed.
Thanks to shoddy audio.
Yeah, it might be nice to revisit that story. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
That one, no, I felt like we got to a pretty good resolution on Hinterkaifeck, actually.
Yeah, you did. You solved it. Remember?
I don't know if I solved it. I had a fucking theory.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think we said at the end of it. We were like, well, there it is.
Yeah.
Case solved. All right. Well, this case is not solved, but I'm glad it's over for us.
Yes, I agree. I'm sorry I couldn't
Crack the case.
Not like crack the case, but like provide some sort of like cogent.
What?
Fucking.
How could you?
Yeah.
I mean, dude.
Like I don't agree with the narrative in whole. I agree with portions of it, but there's like even agreeing with the narrative that's presented. Dude, I'm telling you, that Chaos book about Charles Manson's fucked up my whole brain. Like it's fucked up everything about like the way I think about some of this shit.
I want to read that.
Dude, you can barely read a fucking takeout thing,
I'll listen to the audio. Audio book.
Audio book. Dude, it's worth it.
No,
but like it does. I mean that. Not to like paint that the Manson thing in a different light, but anytime there's the hint of police cover up, it kind of changes the way that you look at some things.
Oh yeah.
Especially when there's like large question marks.
Right.
Like, well, if this, then why this, and then this the different buckets, man. Why are all these loose ends over here, and all these really pristine pieces of evidence right in the middle that lead you nowhere.
Nowhere. Yeah.
So, but this case is an open, cold case currently. 40 plus
Wow.
years. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there was shitty fucking forensic work back in the day,
And Gene died.
it's just science.
Mm-hmm.
Just science hadn't gotten there yet. And Gene Leroy died, and nobody went to go check on the campers.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to fucking point a finger at a 17-year-old kid and say, why are you out there saving the world? But what was I doing at 17? Smoking weed and fucking being a
Not
piece of
solving.
shit?
Yeah, not solving.
Yeah.
or
Yeah, I wasn't doing this shit.
Yeah.
I wasn't fucking trying to save the world. I'm trying to save my money to buy some more weed.
Buy some more weed. Oh God, 17.
Fucking buy out a liquor store.
No, I didn't start that early. I was in youth group at 17.
Dude, I fucking started way too early.
Yeah,
Man.
that's why I went hard, man. I had to catch up.
Yeah. I don't
And
need-
that's a whole nother. Yeah.
we don't need to tell any war stories.
Now's a good time to wrap up.
Yeah. Good shit.
No, it was good shit. It was the story itself is like good shit. You know what I mean? Because that's it's interesting, but it's also just horrible. But no, you provided us with good shit. Provided us with good shit. So
I just feel bad for families and
Yeah.
kids, obviously.
yeah,
Especially
not a happy story, kiddos. So stay tuned till next week.
Meanwhile, I think the moral of this story is if someone provides you with a note saying what they want to do murder-wise, maybe take it seriously. It's probably not a prank.
Yeah.
At least maintain the letter.
Just keep an eye on tent number 1,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
maybe put the letter in a Ziploc bag.
Hang on to it.
Hang on to it.
Oh,
And time will tell.
there it is. Don't play with matches, kids.
Don't.
Did they burn it? Is that what you said?
Oh, yeah. No, they
Burnt
got
the
rid
letter.
of it. They didn't
Oh,
sell it.
okay. In my mind,
I may-
immediately
I
when
may-
they burned it.
I may have said, because they're at a camp, I figured they just
I said, don't play with matches. You're like, what the fuck does that have to do with
yeah,
anything?
I was like, there was no fire in
I
this
thought
episode.
that they burned
No,
the
I mean,
letter.
I think if I said that earlier,
Yeah.